Hey guys, Narfman0 here. I thought it'd be fun to make a reaction video on my 50:07 Warpless world record. So let's jump
There's
right
skits
in.
online. He was taking a
The
break. I
early
think he's
hammer
back. He's been
manipulation.
streaming
To
a
save
week
about
pretty
35 to
recently.
40 seconds, Warpless runners use an RNG manipulation to make the pro holding the hammer come over to the left side of the
I'm
map.
doing.
We skip 3 levels in World 2 at the expense of playing a level in 4F1. In non-manipped runs, fighting
Like
RNG in
all
World 1 and
Super
2
Mario
left a lot to
gaming.
be desired. So I started manipping for
Runs.
consistency and time
Have
saves.
no
Here we are at the 5-1
little
P-Wing
flutter
or
happening
Mike
now.
Tyson route.
Oh,
I
that's
saw
nice.
Sakubi do this in a
11 is
PB and thought,
actually not
amazing! Trading off inconsistency in 7-6 for RNG
fair word games,
inconsistency
though.
in
So
World
it's the
5,
same time. There's
some
no
15
RNG
minutes
World 5, so
prior. Tiny time save as well, and
maybe
as a
save
software
the
developer, I like failing fast in general.
I don't know, 4
You know what
seconds.
my grandma always used to say, you never know until you YOLO.
Hey, Cookie Wise, what's up?
uh, Here's 6-9. I saw Mitch's video on star 6-8 that yields only 3 non-working subpixels for 6-9. Everyone loves a nice 6-9, so I figured, why not go for it? For 7-9, Kudo published an example manipulation that allows all subpixels to work in certain circumstances in the first clip. We also found a similar manip for the second clip, which while not as consistent, still works quite well. And there's the 4-second time save. Awesome. Ooh, coming up to late game. 0 hands, 8-1, Bowser's Castle, nerves and mistakes. We finally got 0 hands, after which the nerves set in. This 8-1 is hilariously bad. But conveniently, I had just made that same mistake a week or two prior, so we were able to clutch it out. Heading into Bowser's Castle, I knew we were on pace. So one missed everyman clip is not a big deal. But look at this absurd amount of time I waste before jumping. Then we murder Bowser for a happy ending. Pretty beatable if you ask me. GG! Thanks all! Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'd like more of your attention economy than the corporations. Lol. Have a good day, and GLHF! Hey guys, oh, and the video keeps going, so we'll keep reacting. Let's see. I was talking about early hammer time saves, right? I had 42 runs to hands on pace when I first got my 51, which took a lot of time. I think about what else I can do with that time for leisure or edification time, so I really like to capture even every 5 or 10 minutes. If manipping saves some time to get to 50, even if my normal skill isn't good enough, we should do it. I try to eke out every little bit of efficiency. I like to throw in the software developer part because I think I'm preempting someone saying it's a bad idea to throw so much RNG into runs. It's like I've engineered other solutions and must be competent at decision making. But I'm not sure if that's right. It's certainly not a given. Yeah, my grandma never really said most of these things. She died when I was a lot younger. I just like to co-opt funny phrases and attribute them to her. She did say some funny stuff though, being from Texas. A nice 6-9 joke is sort of a cheap gag at this point. I think I always go for it to have a look of edginess and grungy relatability. I said we found a manip for the second clip in 7-9. I found it. I like to present some faux, humble Judeo-Christian front sometimes. Like if I can be self-sacrificial, that's a model for others too. I think in the end, it's still just a monument to my own pride. I like to say absurd in stream because it questions the meaning of whatever we're doing, and I like to walk the line of intense focus on the game and hobby while calling into question its very value. I like to say murder and happy ending again for a quick gag and joke because my infantile responses to edginess are probably some degree of nature, nurture, and how I grew up. I parody liking because I put it in front of not liking corporations or what they do socially, politically, or economically in those theaters. Advertisements to consume are sort of anti-patterns to humanity, I think. The video keeps going, so we'll keep reacting. And we're back again. Okay, we'll wrap this up soon. I was talking about valuing leisure and edification time, sort of a pretentious articulation if you ask me. I suppose I consider my own time the pinnacle of and target of my own object of worship. It's like I view myself like a god, really. I'm also preempting any critique that I'm terrible at 7.6 by calling out the software developer part. Maybe if I claim I'm bad, nobody else can criticize me on it. But that's not true. I'm just quite bad at manipulating 7.6 and bad at a lot of other hobby things too. I guess applying phrases to my grandma is more about self-aggrandizement and wanting to have some sort of internet brand to make people like me. Maybe using her fading memory as a tool for self-worth and making a pittance of dollars is not a great look. I think there's a small bit of Gen Xer in me for some anti-establishment contrarianism for the grungy relatability bit. Hmm. I probably managed to make just about everything about me, and if it's not, it's a bunch of gibberish and virtue signaling. I even double think, say, we clutched it out. Obviously, my arrogance, that's a proxy for I clutched it out. Hmm. The value of the runs, I mean, aside from obvious artistic value, which I stand by, is always questionable. A lot of time and resources into a video game, and one that so persistently kills runs to RNG is silly. It's like fewer than 1% of early hammer runs ever have a chance to PB, just due to RNG alone, really. I guess controlling the narrative of the game crosses my mind a lot. I started running this around our second pregnancy, where politics were unsure, and I had a quarter life and midlife crisis, and going back to something familiar and nostalgic, through which I could control my increasingly out of control and maybe hopeless life, could be the biggest motivation. Wrapped in a gem. Not a great scene. And here, probably the consumption is probably more the issue. That ratio of our attention monetized for ad revenue, fueling Wagner's group, neo-colonial expansion into Africa, extracting gold to fund wars and sow in disinformation, or buying carbon-14 isotopes to feed some future invasion of maybe Taiwan or genociding Uyghurs in Xinjiang. Well, thank you for joining me on my reaction video to Warpless 5007 World Record. I hope you all have a great day, and GLHF!